What's going on, people? Zap here. And I want to take the time to address something with Gears 5 that I don't think a lot of people are really taking the time to discuss. I've seen a few people talk about it, talk about their issues with the game. I've seen a few people talk about, problems with the weapon balancing and things like that. But I don't think people are really addressing the elephant in the room, which seems pretty glaring to me when it comes to Gears 5. And it's the fact that the community is so split in terms of what it wants and what they feel would make the game more enjoyable to them that it makes it really difficult for a developer to appeal to everybody, right? Everybody has their thoughts and their feelings, and everybody wants to, put their ingredients in the pot. Too many chefs in the kitchen, man. Too many damn chefs, bro. Not everybody can be the Gordon Ramsay dog. Y'all just gotta fall back. So the different branches of the community that I'm referring to are the casual community, the hardcore community, the competitive community, and the developers themselves. The casual community I'm referring to, I'm talking about the players that hop on, they play, maybe a little bit of Horde, some Escape, might jump into some multiplayer from time to time, but they don't really sit there and stick it out for the long run, and, their time in multiplayer is relatively short, okay? So those are the casuals, right? Then you got the hardcore player base, the guys who've been playing Gears for years, and they can sit here and tell you all their fucking war stories about, that time they played up against this clan and things like that, and they'll bust out their footage from an old Hapog HD PVR back in like 2010, and give you guys that old, Gears World War II footage, that they have saved in their fucking hard drive. You know what I mean? Um, and then you've got the competitive player, which kind of speaks for itself. The guys who play these games for money. They enter tournaments, whether it be online or in LAN, and things like that. And then obviously the developers who are trying to take a franchise that was built on the backs of Epic Games and make it their own. They're trying to associate that game, this franchise, with themselves, make it their own. And I think that's they're kind of struggling to do that, right? So I feel like since everybody has their own thoughts and opinions on what makes the game better, it kind of causes the developer themselves to not know what the fuck to do. And I think they kind of default to just uh, doing what's probably going to take the least amount of resources to do, right? So, basically what I'm saying is it's way easier to give the casuals what they want, which is like weapon skins, taunts, and things like that, and easier to give the competitive community what they want, which is just, weapon tuning, adjusting the movement, things like that, as opposed to giving the hardcore player base what they want, which is, like more maps and more ways to play the game, like game types and things like that. And I completely get that. Like especially in the pandemic where a lot of these studios are working from home or they're understaffed because they can't have too many people in the office at once, things like that. I completely understand focusing on the minimal things as opposed to the big things. Like I get that. But the problem is that it was a big issue with 4 and with Gears 4, and it's become an even more glaring issue with Gears 5 even before the pandemic. And you don't really have that excuse anymore. Okay, so um, the hardcore fan base I feel is kind of getting the shaft. And don't get me wrong, the hardcore fan base, they're not angels. They have a really tough and really obnoxious way of expressing their thoughts and their feelings. A lot of it tends to be with like tagging the developers on Twitter with some really nasty thoughts and opinions, quote unquote, about the game, being flat out disrespectful, all that stuff, as opposed to just articulating your thoughts and your feelings in a very productive way. Okay, so now we sit back and we look at the casual players get what they want, the competitive players get what they want, and we get to sit and watch the game kind of be in a state of not being as fun as it could be, because Gears 5 mechanically on paper is not a bad game. It's just not nearly as fun as the older games, right? And I think that's something that we can all agree on. Whether you're a Gears 5 fan or not, I think we can all agree that there's a prior game in the franchise that we probably enjoy more than this one, you know? Um, but there's just something severely lacking, right? For me personally, I just want more maps. I want execution. I want execution to come back as a game type, okay? And um, that's really it for me. Like I don't think that's asking for too much. But maybe it is. Maybe it does take a lot more resources and time to do those types of things than I thought. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know. Um, but that's the only thing that I really want. That's what would make me happy as a Gears of War fan. Is just having more options and more ways to play the game. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, Gears 5 could be such a more fantastic game than it is. But I think the coalition would rather just kind of give the casuals and the competitive player. This is a game tailor made for competitive play. I don't think it's made for hardcore players. It's you're either competitive or you're casual with it. That's it. I don't really think there's an in between there. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If there's anything else you want me to cover, any questions you might have for me, let me know in the comment section below. And I will see you guys next video. Peace.